recording audio for interviews, for video and website. Why bother, particularly for reporters, unless unless it's not correct. It's a job requirement. It's a career requirement. It's your story and it's your audience, and your audience is your value. I don't think a lot of us on the street really pay attention that we kind of have weight that we never had before, and that's our audience. Our audience follows us. In the days of whoever goes out and, jots down a few notes in a notebook and does nothing else is probably living a historic moment, because those moments are gone. A journalist writing down words only is not providing whatever company media company they're working for with the tools that they need. It's all about audio, it's about video, it's about pictures. So. And we'll go pretty quick here. When should I record audio? This is mainly for reporters. If there's even a chance your story may be a centerpiece, if there's no photographer with you, if it's a breaking news event, if the subject is something of continuing coverage topic, we all know what those are. Any kind of incident on the river, any kind of wildfire, deal in red wine, we all know what the stories are. Imagine from a historic standpoint if we had the head of public health down in Farmington the day we learned of the Gold King mine saying, I haven't been told anything, right? So we can all recognize what the story is. Equipment, we already own some of the most sophisticated equipment there is. It's our telephone. You need a couple things to make it functional. And I'm all about ease, path of least resistance. A pro level audio app only costs a few dollars. I have one that's about $5 that is industry standard within NPR, and it will record any kind of broadcast quality audio. Voice Record Pro is only for iPhones. The best that I found, but there's a variety of them for Androids, or Easy Voice Recorder. You'll find your own because it's your own phone. Ask if you have any questions, but there's a couple things that you have to look at before you buy or download a free recorder. All the recorders that I've investigated, get the Pro model. It only costs a couple dollars because they're going to have one or more of these important things. First off, you need manual record levels. Even though audio is automatic is very, very good, you want the ability to adjust your record levels from your mic. Real short and simple, what should it be? Nothing goes over 0 and nothing below -6. All audio recorders have levels, and you can see the little chart. Anything above 0 is out the window. Anything below 6, unless it's emergency, we can try to fix it. It's probably not going to work. So it must have manual record levels. It needs to accept external mics. Not all audio programs will allow you to plug in a mic onto your phone. And we can talk about mics in a moment. The better ones do.
Mics are going to be interesting with the iPhone 7.
Yes, they are. I'm going to be keeping this one as a work tool, but not the 7. But there's already, where there's a need, there's going to be solutions for it, Bluetooth mics and such. There's already a couple good Bluetooth mics out there. Has to accept external mics. It must have a file share feature. I just got back from Pagosa from the fire there. I recorded a dozen plus interviews, and each time my Voice Record Pro, I haven't been able to download it yet. I had a screenshot of it. I can share that audio file any way I want, email, text message. I can upload it to any social media. But the best thing that I use is one-touch Google Drive. So I recorded an audio of the fire chief. Gave me the little, I hit one button and I walked over and talked to somebody else. While I was recording somebody else's interview, it downloaded to my Google Drive. So now after this meeting, I'll go into Google Drive and right there's all my audio, and I'll put them together and I'll put video over top of it.
And particularly when you're at the scene, that's so imperative, because you can also then share that with somebody that's at the office very quickly. They can go grab it, edit it, get it up.
So a share feature, they don't all have share features. Some of the lesser ones, you can record on your phone, but then you got to get the file off. And to me, that's no good. It has to be very simplistic. Email is the best way. Good, inexpensive microphones.
So as far as that goes, we have two microphones over where the computer is, that is the archive machine. In the bottom drawer there are two microphones, a lav mic and a stick mic. Take those.
Perfect. They can range. There's some great mics that I just found last night that are under $20 from Amazon. They're little lavalier plug-ins. You'll need to know on your phone whether you need a powered mic or not. On my iPhone, I have to have a powered mic. I can't say it about Androids. But you can get a very good quality mic for under $20. It's stupid crazy to say. This is a little higher end. I think this is about 100. You guys see me walk around this. It drives dogs crazy when they see it. But windscreen. This would be an example of like about a $12 mic, and it works fine. If I put that right here, I'm golden, right? If I'm back here, it's not. So, also you'll need to check your device. It's very simple. It's called a TRSS cord. If you look, it has three bands around it. One of those bands, we're all used to the mono and stereo microphone. The third band makes your output for your headphones. It makes it into an input for a microphone. Okay? So you'll need to check your individual phone. I have these for plug-in mic, so I can plug my mic in, as well as I can plug in my headphones and monitor. And so that turns my output for headphones into an input for sound. Makes sense? It's not complicated. It just reverses the pattern of, instead of an output, it makes it into an input. You'll need to check your device, Google it for a minute, and you're going to find, what you need. These cords can run anywhere from, I get higher end cords from $25. They also are a couple bucks. Some of them are just connections. So, I'm recommending that reporters use Audacity or another free editing software because what the purpose of this is, generally, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that photographers, videographers are fed audio files from stories that we can put together as videos. We're not expecting you guys to go out and be video editors, but you're collecting data, and that part of that data is not just your notes, but it's an audio recording. And you will need to clean it up because we cannot, Jerry, cannot listen to a 30-minute interview.
So that said, for the sake of time, I don't want them editing because I don't want to teach them how to edit. You guys will have to go through and say the quote is at this point, the quote is at this point, the quote is at this point.
I think it's
so you'll say 122, whatever. We're not getting into reporters editing audio at this point in time.
Okay, I think there's reporters here that are going to want to because it's better, faster, and at the end of the day, the reporter,
We're not doing that.
the reporter knows the story, and you'll talk about things that aren't the story.
Another option would be on that too is like, okay, do your interview, record them. Then say like, okay, give me 30 seconds exactly.
We're going there.
It is.
Next screen.
Okay.
I'm all about make your life easy. Okay, you can make your life very, very difficult and have 3 hours of recording. There's something that's actually on this next screen. It's called the ×3 rule. No matter what you record, you're going to listen to it 3 times. So if you have an hour and a half to spend listening to a 30-minute interview, then good for you. We won't be able to. Make sense? So a standard is kind of like 3. What should I record is really important. Do you do the entire interview? Do you do a summary? Do you do yourself? Do you do ambient? It's called the gourmet meal is how it was described to me. Great video is nothing without great audio. Okay, so it's like a gourmet meal without a taste. An entire interview, a time that you would want to do that is when the subject is very, very important, a political figure, Pence, the governor. It's something very critical that has some longevity to it and archive qualities. We're going to want to go back and refer to this. 90% of the time, I dare say, it's a summary. And what Jerry said is exactly right. We all have different styles of interviewing people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to stop. I would advise that you do a summary interview. So for the fire chief in Pagosa, he's already spoken with us. He's given us all the details of what's going to be written in the story. But then it's time to, where are we? What was the fire? Who was affected? What are you doing next? Thank you. And that's 30 seconds. In fact, I've got his audio here. That's 30 seconds. That's all we need. That's all a video needs. It's important to know, at least in this house, that we're not telling our stories on video per se. It's a way of driving traffic to your story. So 90% of the time it's going to be a summary. Only if something sticks out as being very, very historic and important are you going to do the entire interview. Do you record yourself? I say yes, and it depends on you because it's also a great way to tell a story. And once you do it once or twice, none of this should be intimidating. You'll feel very comfortable of being, I'm in Pagosa, there was a fire, here's the fire chief. And let him go for 30 seconds. So I have both the kind of the intro from the reporter because I have an idea of what my story is going to be, and then I have my main subject, and that's it. And email it to us. Ambient, I think if you're ever outside, I think your voice and their voice, it should always be. Sometimes we used to get into a thing of bringing the subject into a studio where it's really quiet. Here's the rule of thumb. If the video image is something that's outdoors, your ear wants to hear outdoor noise, air, cars. I'm all for that. If it's a sit down in an enclosed place, no, you want that. You want that. So most of the time I will, I'll take the person away from a super loud, but you don't want, it doesn't have any color to it. It doesn't have any. Times 3 rule we've already talked about. Difficult and time consuming, quick and easy. It's your choice. I'm saying, but Claudia's saying no and edit ultra. WAV or MP3. You want to record in MP3 most of the time. It's very small and transmits really fast. If it was a historic interview where I'm going to do the whole interview, I'll record in WAV just because it's higher quality, but it's the file sizes can get ridiculous. So it's done for quality. 90% of the time it's MP3s. Delivered to photo via email, Dropbox, labeled the date and the subject and the story, notify photo, and any questions asked.
Can you explain the times 3 rule again?
Whatever you record, it will take 3 times the length of time. However much you record, it's going to cost 3 times by the time you get through it, because first off you have to listen to it, then you have to knock it down, you have to edit it, and then you have to listen to it finally. So it's a rough guesstimate of, if I have a 30-minute audio, you've about sentenced yourself or a photographer to about an hour and a half. Properly mic the subject. Gosh, where to start? You need to get your microphone close, okay? If I'm talking to you and I'm here,
Rule number
it's no
one.
good. First off, I'm not taking your picture. I'm micing you. And even if, let's say all these mics, I forgot them and they're not in the car. Right here, Chief, tell me, right? It's right here. It's much like, it's much like a lens. So figure out where your mic is on your camera and get it up there. 90% of all audio problems have to do with not properly miking your subject. If you have your recording, record levels, and you've set them, whether it's automatic or whether you've asked the person to give me a little test and you get it lined up. Anything below 6, you're wasting your time. Anything that peaks above 0, you're wasting time. It's like making notes that you can't read. So. You could spend a semester in college talking about miking subjects, but the short of it is, if back here it's nothing, I'm hearing everything, I'm hearing all this, and it's not going to work for you. Get your mic close. Get yourself, if you do nothing else, a little bitty under $20 lapel pin. Stick it right here. I'm being mic'd, as you guys know, we've talked about it before. Now this is on the iPhone, but it works everywhere. I'm being mic'd right now on Claudia's phone. This turns into a mic. So it's headphones, but there's a mic right here. I don't want to get into it, but you put your phone on airplane mode, and it also turns that output into an input.
That was in an earlier BCIU, and that's on the
So
training center
if nothing
site.
else, look, I've got a paper clip, and I've got my mic here, and I guarantee you this is excellent quality audio.
And I think you guys have seen my paperclip trick on every BCIU we've done, so it's pretty handy. One thing
I always listen, and if it's not right, don't walk away. If it's not right, it's not right. I was hoping that there'd be more reporters here, because we're going to come up into a fire season, right? The person that goes to a press briefing and there is not a photographer there that does not record a broadcast quality audio of that spokesman speaking about the fire is probably going to, you didn't do your job, is the bottom line. And there's one thing about, we're here, I'm taking my notes, there's the press briefing, I hear the briefing about the fire, and I've got all my notes. There's no reason this is what these guys get paid for. Ann Bond, step aside. I need you to reread this. Here, I'm going to put a paper clip on you. Reread your statement. You just handed me a press briefing that doesn't do video any good on the new website. I need that spoken by an official. That's what they do.
And
So take them out.
For little things, my husband and I recently did a video where we clipped something on somebody's lapel, not realizing that they had a backpack on that they kept fiddling with the whole time. And the audio is terrible, because every time she fiddled with her backpack, she bumped the mic, and it's just so disappointing. So watch for little things like that you don't really think
A reporter
about.
recently, and he's really good at recording interviews, but he didn't have his mic with him. He just set his phone out here, and he did this the entire time. It's totally unusable. I threw it away. I mean, I listened to 30, 40 minutes trying to find a single quote, but it's here. And it's every little, here, and there's nothing you can do about that. So, he should have just, here. Now talk to me, right? And I can sit here and type and you're not going to hear it. So proximity of the mic
Or
is
like Sean
everything.
said, check it before you leave, and if you didn't get it, make him do it again.
Yeah, if you didn't get it, I mean, it's truly like, wow, I wrote down his quote and I can't read it. It's the exact same thing. And so questions. I always will point, and ask me later if you want, I always go path of least resistance. Now, and you guys, the writers know, I'll stop somebody and go, no, I'm sorry, I need to know just this because, and I'm really straight with people, and I'll stop people and I'll make sure they're mic'd well because I don't have time to fix something that's wrong. I've got about 30 minutes to turn something that looks good and is engaging and most importantly drops people to your story. Can I tell my real quick flyover thing?
Yeah, we got
Listen,
that.
your stories are your name, and there's something within Facebook and these other social media things that I call flyovers. If it doesn't have a visual, and if it doesn't have a multimedia element, world's greatest story, whoosh, you just got flown over. They don't care. An audio file with a nice picture, I'm going to listen to that. All of a sudden, they've opened it up and they've read your story, and that's your audience. And we have a choice of that. And these are little, simple, quick things that I think is going to become, the way I understand it, going to become more and more important with the new website. We can't build a video that's going to be engaging without audio.
And we've done a lot of talking about SEO, and just remember, a lot of things build into how well your story does on search, but the more multimedia elements, the higher things rank on search, in particular video now. It's just, and I'll get into this in January when I do my little presentation, but I talked to Sean and some of the other folks about this earlier. People that look at the internet and look at news are anticipating that within 5 years we'll be doing 50 videos a day. And so those skill sets of just shooting and getting that stuff is imperative. Don't let that freak you out.
And the podcasting
I'll
thing.
go into that whole thing.
And
It's fascinating. But
And there's a way to make your life easy. I don't know any reporter that after they write and file, they have an hour to sit down. I don't know. The same thing's heading towards photo too. But there's a way to do it so it makes your life easy. And that's what I'm all about. So I can help you.
I wasn't at the last, I don't know when it was, the Bciu when you talk about the headphone mic or the earbuds mic. If you don't have, if that's all you have and you're in a quiet room, is it best to use that on a lapel or having your phone out near the...
Oh, always a mic.
Okay.
The phone by itself is last resort. I forgot my mics, it broken, whatever. That's the last resort, and you get the whole phone up to here, up there.
And
Here,
then-
you just pin it just like I'm pinned right here.
And is that on airplane mode, the software that you download, does that automatically make it a recording mic, or it's something the iPhone is designed to do on its own?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You need to use a recording software. You can use the one that comes with the phone. It's not that great. And each audio application has a different requirement. Mine right now, I don't have to switch to airplane mode. So, which is good and bad because I also get text messages and calls while I'm recording. It's kind of a hassle. And of course, airplane mode turns that off, which is convenient.
And you're so popular that...
Where are you? And also, if I want to monitor, I have to be in airplane mode. But that's just an iPhone thing. Are you an iPhone person? Yeah. That's only if you use this. If I'm using these mics, I don't have to go on airplane mode. And I would really recommend if you're on iPhone, it's the only one to have is Audio Pro. I mean, it's slick. And it makes life so easy. It's a mindless thing. I don't even monitor anymore because just like today, I have my mic on and everything, and I've already turned, hey, Captain, how are you? I'm going to do some video. I need a little couple quotes from you and everything. And when he starts talking, I see, boy, he's between -6 and 0. I don't have to monitor. I just occasionally glance at my levels to make sure nothing's going crazy with it.
Audio Pro is the software?
Yeah, it's like $4, Jerry, something like that.
Is that different than Voice Record Pro?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is Voice Record Pro is the one for iPhones. But it actually has a screen of how do you want to share it, so as soon as it's just as slick. And this thing, I actually picked it up from NPR person that was down for Gold King Mine. I'm like, why are you recording with your phone? She's from NPR and National. And she was like, this is it. This is the, she had another recorder, but she was like, this is it, and turned me on to it. So it's true, it's Bluetooth. This one I can send the Bluetooth or receive via Bluetooth, so for an iPhone 7 it would work. Just make it easy. When I record, and just kind of as a workflow, did I go through a workflow? I always get it off of my phone. So when I was in Pagosa just a little bit ago, as soon as, thank you, Chief, it's gone. It's off my phone. I have a copy of it, but it's back. It's Google Drive. When it comes fire season, don't worry about talking to me or Jerry about you just got this great, interview with it's already in the Google Drive, your Google Drive, and you have unlimited storage. Google Drive with business apps. So I'm not sure if people are using that, but it's become a mainstay of at least my workflow.
Me too with video.